Well, what an unusual year we've had. I've often found myself echoing one of the most moving prayers in the Bible. King David prays, "I will take refuge in the shadow of your wings until the disaster is past." And you know, as I look back over those months, two thoughts have occupied my mind. Number one, the sheer frailty of life. I thank God for the wonders of science, but we've all had a sober reminder that no matter how secure we feel, we actually have very little control over our lives. And secondly, the speed at which life goes by. Just recently, I had a real reminder of that. When I was 21 years old, I was outside church one day, just on the corner of my street, and up comes a guy called John. He's a young lawyer, he's 31 years old, he's driving a brand new Alfa Romeo car. And he comes up to me and says, "Rob, I've been thinking about you. I'd like you to join my law practice." I said, "John, I don't think I could become a lawyer." He said, "I think you could, and I'm going to pay for you to go through law school." Gosh, I remember going home and telling my dad that news. Dad was a postman. He was just shaving, waiting to go on night shift. He said, "Son, people like us don't become lawyers." But I did, and John and I were in the law practice for many years together until I left it to begin care for the family. And you know, just before lockdown, so not long ago, I'm walking along Paddington Station. I'm on my way to a meeting in Westminster, and there's a bit of a disturbance on the platform in front of me, a little crowd around an elderly man who's fallen. And as I look, I see it's John. And I say, "Oh, I know this gentleman, I'll help him." And he wasn't badly hurt, but as I bent to kind of wipe a bit of blood away from his leg, my mind went back over half a century to that street corner, that young man in his Alfa Romeo car with the world at his feet. And I whispered in my heart, "Wow, how fast life goes by." And the Bible speaks about both the frailty of life and the speed with which it passes. It urges us to use that short time well. In fact, the Apostle Paul says, "Redeem the time." And that word for time is kairos. It means a moment of opportunity. And in all our lives, there are those kairos moments. And I believe that organizations also experience them. You know, several years ago, we decided to devote some of our resources over the next decade to the issue of emotional well-being in families. And our UK director, Catherine Hill, began research on a brand new book that has just been published. Here it is, A Mind of Their Own, Building Your Child's Emotional Resilience in a Post-Pandemic World. When Catherine began writing it, we had no idea that the current pandemic would bring into focus the deteriorating state of young people's mental health like never before. Her writing this book truly was a kairos moment. And we had another kairos moment about 2 years ago when we built these broadcasting facilities. You know, when we asked for your help in raising the finance to do it, we had no idea that within a short time we'd be totally reliant on this facility to do our work. Unable to travel with live events, we've still been able to reach out and strengthen families right across the United Kingdom. And your generous support has enabled us to do that. From the bottom of my heart, I want you to know how grateful I am to you. I'm sure you know that just twice a year I speak to you like this to see whether you could possibly help us financially. And this is one of those times. And I wonder if you could possibly consider sending us a gift to help us seize this moment for such a time as this. And if you're able to, no matter how small or great that donation, Catherine Hill and I want to say thank you in a very special way. We'd love to send you a signed copy of Catherine's brand new book, A Mind of Their Own, and also a brand new book that I've just written with Catherine called The Little Book for Really, Really Brilliant Grandparents. Look, we realize these books may not be relevant to all, but if they're not for you, we're sure you'll know somebody for whom they'll be a really welcome gift. As we close, I wonder if I could just say a word to somebody who's really struggling at this moment. You know, this pandemic has left many individuals, couples, and families both physically and emotionally drained. And the recovery may take us far longer than any of us anticipate. At the beginning, I mentioned the prayer of David. This is the warrior king we're talking about. This is the guy that took on Goliath. But at one of the lowest moments of his life, he cries out to God, I will take refuge in the shadow of your wings until the disaster has passed. He's in a season where he can't fight as he used to. Just now he needs to rest and find the peace and protection of God. And for all of us, this is going to take time. Please remember, we're always there for you. And especially if you've suffered a bereavement, we've allocated extra resources to support you in that area. So on behalf of us all, Robin, Vincent, our CEO, Catherine Hill, myself, just thank you so much. I say it time and time again, no organization could have more faithful and loyal supporters. And if you can help us at this time, I would be so grateful. Thank you. May God bless you and those you love.